Hello guys, my name is Sergey, I'm a freediving instructor trainer, and today we continue our talk about freediving theory. I think it is a part number 4, and today we're going to talk about hyperventilation. So previously I was talking about different parts of any breath hold, and you know now that any breath hold has 3 parts. It is a relaxation breathing, it is a breath hold itself, and then there is a recovery breathing. So, and then the last video we was talking about relaxation breathing, how important it is, and what we're actually trying to achieve while we're doing relaxation. And you remember that during relaxation we don't try to change any any gas composition in our lungs. We don't try to bring more oxygen. We're going to try to remove more carbon dioxide. And we're going to talk today about this specific part, about removing too much carbon dioxide from your body. So we call it hyperventilation. Don't be confused that hyperventilation is always like a fast deep breathing. It doesn't have to be. Yes, in a classical way you can see that hyperventilation looks like so this, you're thinking, okay, only this can be considered as a hyperventilation. But in reality, not only this type of breathing can be hyperventilation. By the way, I done the big video about hyperventilation I think last year, and I just checked it, and I was actually covering most of the information there, so you can find the link to this video in the description, and also I'm going to put somewhere on top as a card where I was explaining why hyperventilation is dangerous. So what I want you to talk today about is a few things. So first of all, that hyperventilation can look like a slow breathing as well. So I will show you an example. Like if I'm going to breathe like this, and I'm going to breathe like this in a extended period of time for 2, 3, 5 minutes, then it is a mild version of hyperventilation. Don't be confused with this. Hyperventilation is just the way to change, let's say, amount of carbon dioxide in your body, in your blood. And when you extending your exhale, you're removing extra CO2. So obviously if you do a big hyperventilation, it's more dangerous because the CO2 drops is going to be more significant, and then all the risks which exist with the hyperventilation. Again, I was talking about everything in my previous video, the link in the description, about hyperventilation. But if you do a mild version of hyperventilation, it's still risky. It's not that much risky, but still risky. So why people still doing hyperventilation? So first of all, some people still maybe lying to themselves and by saying no, I'm not doing hyperventilation. So they do like a long extended exhale, and they still saying no, we don't do hyperventilation. Guys, you're doing hyperventilation. And in other people, like, they maybe don't know what is a danger. So again, I describe every danger what exists with a hyperventilation, and the mild problem is like a dizziness, a loss of coordination, and the big problem, obviously biggest for us as a freedivers, is a higher risk of losing consciousness. Again, another confusion exists. If you do hyperventilation, you're not always going to lose your consciousness, right? So you can do hyperventilation and still be conscious during your breath hold. It depends how big the hyperventilation is. But the hyperventilation increases the chance to have a unconsciousness. So if you do hyperventilation, you have more chances to come to your hypoxic limit when you have a low oxygen, and then you're going to lose your consciousness. Another confusion which exists is if hyperventilation is dangerous, and on most of the freediving courses this is what you heard, that your instructor saying hyperventilation is dangerous, don't do hyperventilation. But then if you're watching the competition, especially static competition, not depth competition, not dynamic competition, but for whatever reason you're exciting to watch static competition, then you might see that elite freedivers who planning to do a really long breath hold, and by really long breath hold I mean like someone trying to do like a 9 minutes or maybe 8 minutes, like 8, 9, 10 minutes. If you watch how these guys are preparing for the breath hold, quite often you will see that they do some variation of hyperventilation. They don't do like a massive hyperventilation when they do like big breath in, big breath out, but they do probably like small version of hyperventilation. And then you can be confused. You can say, oh, wow, my instructor saying that hyperventilation is dangerous, but then I see at least 3 divers, like the top of the top, and they do hyperventilation. And it can create some confusion, because I have a few students when I was doing like my level 1 course, and when I was explaining the danger of hyperventilation, they was asking, giving me some names of the like big static free divers who was doing hyperventilation. They're saying, why this guy is doing. So let's put it this way: hyperventilation increasing the chance of the blackout, right? But it's also increasing the time before your contraction starts. And then let's say someone crazy enough to make an attempt, let's say of 10 minutes breath hold, they try to do everything what is possible to do this breath hold. And when they do their hyperventilation, they extended the time of the of no contractions time, and then maybe they have a chance to come to their 10-minute goals. In the same time, they not argue that it is increasing the chance of the blackout. But if it is a freediving competition, they have a safety team, they have a medical team, they probably have a medical facility nearby, so they have an emergency procedure in case of blackout. Everyone knows what to do. So they're kind of in a really safe position to have a blackout, let's put it this way. There is even opinion that if you're planning to have a blackout, better to do it in a competition, because I mean, I don't know who is actually planning to do a blackout, but I think you get my point. So it's much more safer to have a blackout when you are on competition, because again, like I said, there is a safety team, there is a medical team, there is a medical facility nearby, there is oxygen, etc., etc. So this is why these guys who are planning to do a really crazy big numbers, they already mastering relaxation. They're already masters of relaxation. They already know how to be as much relaxed as possible in the water. Their mammalian reflex is really strong. They kind of achieve everything already what is possible to achieve. They are really relaxed. Their body position is perfect. Their mammalian reflex really strong. And now they're using this hyperventilation trick to help themselves to come a little bit closer to their hypoxic limit and maybe still be like conscious, and then let's say have a really big numbers. So usually people who do hyperventilation, usually, I'm not saying always, have a history of blackouts. So if you heard someone saying that yes, I do hyperventilation to achieve, let's say 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, then you can ask these people how many blackouts you have. I think these people, they're gonna honestly answer you. So if you know someone who have a like 8, 9, 10 minutes breath hold, you know that they do hyperventilation, ask them how many blackouts they have. So most of the time these people have a history of blackouts. So, and you as a beginner freediver don't want to have a blackout, right? Because the blackout is an emergency, and as a beginner freediver you want to avoid this emergency as much as possible. Bottom line, you don't do hyperventilation as a beginner, you do relaxation breathing instead. Maybe your no contractions time is going to be slightly smaller, it's totally fine. You need to master many things before. You need to master relaxation breathing, you need to master how to be relaxed, you need to master good body position during your breath hold, you need to master not to freak out when you have a contractions, etc., etc., etc. So completely forget about hyperventilation, don't do it ever until when you reach, let's say, 8 or 9 minutes. And I think when you reach 8 or 9 minutes, you're not going to be cared that much what I'm saying. Okay guys, I hope this information was useful for you. Again, one more time, I did a video about hyperventilation before. It's going to be linked in the description, where I was explaining more like a technical aspects, what is increasing, what is decreasing with hyperventilation, why it's dangerous, etc. So check it out. But I hope this video was useful as well, and if it was useful, don't forget to click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe now, and I will see you next time.